What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to 2025. I know it's a little bit further into 2025 than I wanted to before I got back on here and put up another video, but last weekend I just didn't really get filmed what I wanted to get filmed prior to it getting really cold here in Texas. So we actually, this week it's starting to melt away pretty much, but we got snow and ice this week, so it got really cold and just not good conditions for doing anything car related, so kind of been hunkered down in the cold, but it's clearing up and I want to make some progress on the Mustang. So to give you all some updates, hope y'all had a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I want to give y'all some updates on what's going on the channel, what's going on with all of the builds, all of the cars. Before we get into that, if you haven't already, if you're new here, which most of you probably are, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. It helps me grow, helps me know that y'all are watching, and you won't miss any of the updates as we get rolling this year. All right, so as y'all know, we got two cars here. We got the F-150. This is my daily driver truck. Nothing too big on this truck today. We hopefully will have some stuff going down the line, but the car that I'm sure y'all are most interested in is the Ford Mustang that was in an accident now going on about 4 months ago. Over here on the rear quarter panel, I am working on fixing this car and fixing the bodywork, getting it back on the road. But before we can do that, unfortunately, we have another problem with the Mustang, which is if we come over here in the garage, the battery's dead. I have it disconnected right now, but this car keeps dying on me. It does not want to start when we go now, and I'm wondering if it could be related to having the wiring harness for the rear bumper disconnected. We've got those over here on the rear bumper. We have these side marker lights as well as the rear camera under there that are disconnected from the car, and we have the harness open. I wonder if that could be having a draw on the battery. So we're going to get this car pushed out. We're going to jump start it with the truck because I still don't have a jump pack. Probably should get one because this car keeps dying on me. So we're going to do that. And then the goal today is to try, which has been the goal in every video, is to try and get this crushed quarter panel and rear floor pushed out. I know in the last video I talked about a stud welder, and I'll probably throw up a short or a reel on my Instagram showing the trial of it. It honestly is just not a strong enough tool, not the right tool to fix this amount of damage on here. This piece right here needs to come out, I don't know, a good 3 inches from where it's at right now. And as you can see here, I was ripping off the studs from the car that I welded on before I was making any real progress on the car. So we're going to get the car pushed out and jump started. That way it's running, and then drive it around a little bit. And then we're going to start on the new tool that I have to work on the quarter panel of the Mustang. So there is another car in the garage right now. This is my roommate's car. He's out of town, and the logical thing to do would be to jump start it with that car, but unfortunately this car hasn't been driven in about a month. It's also dead, so it cannot jump start the Mustang right now. The only car out of the 3 cars currently at the house that runs is the truck. My roommate's car is fine. It's just hasn't been driven in a while. The battery's dead. So if I have time today, I'm also gonna jump start that and drive it around a little bit so that when he comes back from his vacation, the car runs well. So I'm gonna get the Mustang pushed out and then use the truck to jump start it. as you can see, the Mustang still does not want to start, so I'm going to let it charge up for a minute, and then we'll give it another shot. All right, Mustang has been charging for a couple minutes. We're going to see if it wants to start now. It may have just been very dead. I mean, I had no response from anything when I turned the key earlier today, so moment of truth. It wants to go. There we go. Every time, man, this car, it dies on me, but it doesn't take much to get it going. This was one of the more dead times the car's been, but we're gonna get the car ready. I'm gonna get it disconnected and then get out and drive it around a little bit so let the battery charge up. Thank you, truck, for your services. You are greatly appreciated. All right, in the Mustang, I don't know if I told y'all, but I actually upgraded my filming setup. I was filming on my iPhone. Now I'm filming on this GoPro Hero 12, and I've got it mounted up to the windshield. I really like it. I think it's gonna really improve on the quality of content that we're able to shoot on here, and it allows me access to be able to film one of the things that I've really wanted to film, which is in-car driving shots. So super excited about that. So this is my first time recording a driving shot, and also I think the first time y'all ever seeing me recording in the Mustang. So yeah, we're driving the Mustang. For those of you that didn't know or haven't watched my garage tour, my very first video yet, this car is a V6 Mustang. This was the first car I ever bought, and it is a 6-speed manual, which is what I really love about this car. It's really fun to drive, especially for being a V6. You know, it does make 300 horsepower to the crank, probably not to the wheels, but it makes for a very fun car to drive, and it was a great daily driver for 4 years. But it's also pretty fun when you put your foot to the floor. So, that is one of the many reasons why I love this car. This car is quite fun when you put your foot to the floor, but is also very good as a daily driver, except in traffic. But that's of course because it's a manual, and manuals, I love manuals. I really love manual cars. That was the biggest thing I wanted when I bought this car, was a manual. But man, do they suck at traffic. So yeah, that is the good thing about this car post-wreck, other than the battery issue, which I'm sure will be solved just by replacing the battery when I get around to it. This car still drives perfectly fine. It drives straight. There's no misalignment. It could probably use some new shocks in the front and rear, but that's because it's a now going on 11-year-old car. So pulling back into the driveway, it's time to get to work. We can see the damage down there to the car, and I've pulled away some of the seam sealer, but gonna get to work on seeing if we can push out some of this damage. And the way we're gonna do that is with this. So this is effectively a portable frame machine. It's a basically it is a hydraulic bottle jack with, or hydraulic tank with different kinds of attachments to it. So what I think we're going to start with is this spreading jaws right there, and then onto that, this is basically, it's kind of like a bottle jack. You pump it up and the top expands. So we will have, you know, we can push from different directions, all kinds of different attachments on here to fit our needs. So we're going to try this out. It's 4 tons. I've seen people use these to reset frame rails. So I think we're going to get this out, clear out the trunk, and get this set up and see what we can do with it. All right, welcome effectively to Nick's body cam footage. So this piece right here is the main pump for the jack. If you can't tell, this is a new tool. I am by no means a bodywork guy. So been buying some bodywork tools to work on the Mustang just because I want to fix this car myself. So effectively, you have this end of the pump. You pump it up with attached to one of these things, and it expands. This is the protective cap. So I think what we're going to start with is attaching these jaws. All right, quick update on the Mustang. So we did a couple good presses with this hydraulic pump that got us where we need to go. But actually, as I've taken some measurements, this piece right here needs to flatten out. And then obviously this needs to go down. But this needs to be flattened out as much as possible. And then there's this crease here in the rear panel, and that needs to be flattened out. So I think what I'm gonna do is actually heat up the metal a little bit with a heat gun just to see if it makes it any more malleable. And then I've been actually just going at it with a dead blow and making significant progress. So gonna get the heat gun out and then see how that helps. All right, switching to the phone real quick because I'm holding it up and I don't know where the GoPro is. We are close. We are very close. As you can see, now it's not mounted up, the brackets aren't on there, but the bumper lines up. It lines up. All right, I've done a lot of work off camera. Wasn't getting good angles with the Nick's body cam while working on the car. And honestly, the camera was just in the way. And I needed to work on the car, but let me show you where we're at. So, first off, let's go inside the car. We've pushed that out quite a bit, made some space there. I think we'll be good. We'll put some more of this stuff right here. The seam sealer on there. We have the bumper just mocked up. I have to take the taillights off to get the bumper on fully. But take a look at this. I mean, that goes. That is a seam. So I think, oh, it's gonna fall. Oop, I hope I didn't break that. Well, I just had it propped up on a block of wood, so it wasn't very good there. But as you can see, with the bumper relatively where it's supposed to go, it lines up with the body. So I think once we next step's gonna be to order some brackets and see if we can get this bumper mounted up and how it looks with the bumper up, because I think at this point we don't need to worry about any more of the crush part. And as you can see over here, it's not perfect, but it is much straighter than it was. And this piece right here doesn't really connect to anything, so it just has a rubber grommet plug in it, but it doesn't connect. So once the bumper cover's on, we won't really see any of that. So I think that's going to wrap up for today, but big accomplishment, because the rear bumper should line up with the car, and then it'll just be, you know, Bondo to smooth out the rest of that panel. And then it'll be off to paint. We may have this car back on the road. So that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been a little chaotic and a little all over the place working on this car, but that's what happens. So if y'all like this video, leave a like for getting the Mustang back on the road. Hit that like button down below. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.